Uh, you,
Oh, sorry. Well,
yeah.
thank you everyone for being here for today's webinar on interfaith marriages, challenges, and reconciliation. If you haven't yet put in the chat where you're zooming in from, please do. I'm Ankur Patel, the Director of Outreach for Hindu University of America, and our special guest is Dr. Dilip Amin. So let's get started with the webinar. And let me introduce the topic a little bit, give some backgrounds, but I think a lot of us are familiar with interfaith marriages as the world becomes increasingly interconnected. And as I'm a next generation Hindu in America and settling down, this is something that I've gone through and I've seen it. Interfaith and intercultural marriages are more common than ever. And they are deeply complex and often misunderstood. So in this webinar, we're going to explore the nuanced realities faced by couples, families, entire faith communities who are navigating love across religious boundaries. Dr. Dilip Aminji will focus on marriages between individuals from Dharmic, right, Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Sikh, and Abrahamic faiths, the Jewish, Christian, and Muslim faiths, as well as some other intrafaith and also interracial unions. So we'll cover dating a little bit, navigating end-of-life rituals, but I think what a lot of people are really interested in, and we're going to hone in on, is raising children who are in two faiths. I think a lot of people, especially this next generation in America, are dealing with that. So we'll get into that. So we'll have some guest speakers who have gone through it themselves. We'll take your questions, we'll engage, and glad that you are on this webinar with us today. So now let me introduce our faculty. Dr. Dilip Amin is the founder of interfaithshadi.org and the hinduspeakers.org. I was a part of that. We actually got connected a long time as an opportunity and a vehicle to get Hindu ideas, Hindu speakers into more spaces. And we know the interfaith space often lacks Hindus. So Dr. Dilip Aminji has been doing this work for a long time. He serves as the director of the Peninsula Multi-Faith Coalition in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's a Dharma ambassador and former advisory committee member of HAF, Hindu American Foundation. And Dilipji, his professional life, he has a PhD in pharmacology. He's spent over 40 years in research and medicine. He's got 6 patents, 23 scientific papers published. He's originally from Gujarat, but he's now living in the Bay Area. And he brings all of that experience to this, and we're glad to have you, Dilipji. With that, let me hand it to you to get us started with our webinar on interfaith marriages.
Great. Can you hear me well?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Well, it's my great honor. Thank you for joining. You will learn a lot. Probably that will be very helpful when you expected the list. So first, let me tell you, why should you learn about interfaith marriages? Interfaith marriages? No, not you. See, you came to this country, work very hard. You send your children to, let's say, Ivy League schools. 10 years down the road, one day they come back and tell, Mom, I'm in love with Muhammad or Jennifer. See, you get immediately shaken up. You feel that everything is now falling apart. You start thinking that that's end of my Hindu heritage or whatever Christians, Muslim, Jews heritage. And someday, all your hard-earned money, you will pass it to somebody whom you don't care for it. So actually, this is a very irrational logic thinking, and the way you act, you made a mess out of the situation. And many times, Hindu parents end up becoming enemy of their own children right in their own home. Instead of that, I will help you steer through the problem. If it is the problem on the other side, take the focus on the other side and help your children guide through properly. See, you have to keep in mind that 38% of Hindus in America, my own survey, shows that they marry to Christian, Jews, and Muslim. So if that number is very high, it could well come to your own home someday or to your neighbors and family. So this 11-week course will prepare you for that day to avert a major disaster of your life. Now, I offered this course last spring and it was very popular. Uh, course was only for 1.5 hours every day, but people will want to talk and questions and questions. It keeps on going because there is just so much excitement, so much questions, so many questions people had it, and so much confusion. Actually, I'm very proud that there were 2 Christians who attended my class, really practicing Christians going to church every week. And I mean, they find it very valuable because I'm not biased. I'm not saying only to promote one or other faith. I'm a scientist. I laid the data, these are the facts, and you make the decision. And I wish this time Muslims and Jews also will be my students. And when all of them are sitting in one forum and discussing about interfaith marriages, how it brings the really charm in the discussion. It brings really balanced view, and that's the I'm looking for. Now, to start with, I'm not saying interfaith marriages are bad. I've seen many Hindu Christian marriages in my own family and all that, and they're doing great. So I'm not for or against it, but you need to understand how to deal with in variety of life situations. And that's this course will prepare you for. Now, let's say you are convinced that, yes, interfaith marriages is something you should learn it, or at least know more about it. But then you may wonder why learn from me. I have worked in this field for last 19 years. I've guided 1,300 youths in interfaith love relationships and have written 5 books, as you can see here. If you ask ChatGPT, who is the world's authority on interfaith marriages between Dharmic and Abrahamic, they will give my name. I have published some 250 articles, so many 250 probably videos there, and so I have a lot of experience about it. And in this class, if you attend it, it will be very, very interesting. You will really enjoy so many things which you never even thought about it. So now, who should take this course? Let's say you're a parent. Let's say you are an immigrant parent. As I said, that on that day when you hear that, Mom, I'm in love with Muhammad, Jennifer, whatever, this many Hindu parents, as I said, that they make a very irrational arguments and they make a mess out of this situation. What I'm suggesting is do exactly opposite. When for example, when your daughter says, yes, I'm in love with Muhammad, say, wonderful daughter, wonderful. You must have made a really good, well-informed decisions, and I'm in full support. Let's start doing the Sadi's preparation. And then what I am suggesting, stepwise, what you do over next 3-4 months. And if that person is a religious fanatic, you will find it out. Your daughter herself will find out and will say, I kick him or her out. And if that person is a really true, good human being, really out to take good care of it, then you should not have any reason to complain for it. So as you can see that I'm just talking about fact-based, logical approach to the situation. Now, so with this course, you will be able to really be articulate with your own children, very thoughtful, intellectual discussions, and teach them to honor their own culture and values, which they do respect, but sometimes they may miss out in the middle because of all those media negative views on it. So I will help you through navigating through those important events. Take this course as an investment in your future, in your heritage. Let's say you are a young adult, American born, 18, 22, 32, got in love relationships, already married and found interfaith married and found some difficulties how to deal with it. As I said that I'm not against interfaith marriage, but you have to learn how to navigate through difficult situations because significant challenges which will come where you have no clue. Your parents cannot guide you. They will make so many irrational statements which doesn't help you because you are in love with that person. But this course will help you make informed decision. Whatever you do, you know exactly what you're getting into it. In choosing the life partner, and I'm not talking about only interfaith, even if within faith, if you are marrying a Hindu, a Patel, Hindu Patel marrying Hindu Patel, still this course will help you because we are going to discuss many things about marriage in general, not interfaith marriage. Marriage in general itself is so complex, so difficult. Uh, uh, how to raise children. And also, I've seen there are so many divorces within Hindu or within Muslim marriages. So problems are across the board within interfaith or within faith. So this will prepare you to what you want in life and what will be more appropriate to follow through in a particular conditions. Also, we'll be looking in interracially. Bottom line is I will give you guidance so it ensures makes the foundation for your happy and everlasting married life, whatever that is, with whoever that is. Again, it's your choice. I'm not here to decide what is right and wrong for you. It's you to make a decision. I'm just here to give you all the information, and I'm sure you are smart to make your own path forward. If you're a marriage consultant, oh, you better know all those nuances because 19 years, 1300 years, I've seen all kind of situations from all corners of the world, Malaysia, Middle East, Europe, America, everywhere, India. If you are non-Hindus, please join. I would love, as I said, that if Muslims, Jews, and Christians, if all of them are in my class, that will be so beautiful because that will compel me to make really balanced view. If I say something wrong, they will immediately correct. It's not this, that way. And that will be the win-win for all. That's true pluralism. That's true honest giving the message. If you are a wedding officiant conducting Hindu vivaah or you are conducting even Christian weddings, you will learn a lot because some or other time if you are Christian pastor, priest, you will come across somebody from your parish marrying to a Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, and these discussions will help you. If you are a social studies student, that's a perfect subject. Could be your PhD thesis, and I will help you. If you're a thought leader, community leaders, because somebody will come for guidance to you. Because if 38% of Hindus are marrying, 40% across all faiths, they marry interfaith. And that rate probably will keep on increasing in the future. So this is, you got to know about this one if you are a thought leader, community leader, and to protect whoever you are trying to protect them. So this course will provide deep insights into the challenges posed by religious differences and intolerance, which sometimes you miss out. What you will learn. So this course will take you through journey through various stages of relationships. Let's say on the dating, first date, you go on a date with that. And in dates, it's always so much rosy. You try to be so sensitive to each other. Don't try to hurt everybody and only say good things because you don't want to upset your lover. But as soon as you get married, that thought goes and everybody start expressing everything after marriage. And then you find it out that, oh no, I mean, it's a wrong person I met. I wanted to think of dating time. I'm telling you other way around. From dating time, start asking very difficult questions upfront. And if the person is really honest, and there should not be any reason to be fearful. And if person is honest, religious fanatic, they will walk away anyway. Why do you care anyway? Till the issue keeps on going, majority of the issue will come just 3 months, 2 months before you're ready. If it is a Muslim, they will say you will have to have Islamic nikah, meaning religious conversion. If you are marrying a Catholic, they say you will have to sign some prenuptial agreement that the children will be baptized and raised in Catholic faith only. And you say, wait. We all along agreed that we will have children will have both. How come this one? What can you do now? I mean, wedding invitations are already distributed. So you get stuck. Issue keeps on coming. The major issues will come raising the children. What will be the followed religion of children? Will they be formally called Hindus? They be called Muslims, Sikhs, Jews, whatever? Issue does not end even when you die. Let's say you are, I'm sorry to speak this way, but let's say you are no more, or your interfaith children is no more sitting there. I mean, dead body sitting there. How that will go? What will be the final life ritual? Will there be cremation, burial, what? And in such a sad situation, you cannot be fighting, no, it should be my way. No, you should be. I mean, this has to be resolved before you decide that you want to marry. So many situations, and you cannot underestimate it. Sacred texts, what Bible say about Hindus, what Quran says about Hindus, what Bhagavad Gita says about Christians and Muslim. I mean, it definitely doesn't say that way, but if a Christians and Muslims are reading, or Jews reading Bhagavad Gita, says, Krishna says you pray to anybody, ultimately it comes to me. When I pray in Jesus in my church, it doesn't go to Jesus, it goes to Jesus or the Lord God, not to Krishna. Why Krishna is saying like that? Point is, scriptures are written. People make so many wrong assumptions about it, wrong interpretations, and that's why the problems comes. And that's what you need to learn, how to deal with scriptures, what it says, and that's something we will be learn. Also, personal testimonials of the couple themselves, those who are already in relationships. In last class, I had 3. I believe Rajie is already on the forum today. He may join and tell you about his Jewish-Hindu marriage and how they broke up and got into court fights and all that. And he will tell us more about today. And I also brought in my class one Muslim imam, and he came and explained to everybody. And when he came and explained to students, they were really impressed, and they had questions and questions after him. And they were very impressed that, oh, wow, Islam is not as bad as they thought. Point is, we need to learn from all different angles and then make your own decision, what is right for you. Whether you want to believe that imam or not, that's your choice. Whether you want to believe what I'm saying, again, that's your choice. What I'm telling you is to just make informed decision. And that's what the intelligent person should be doing it. Institutional expectations. If it is an imam from your mosque, they will want Islamic nikah. Before nikah, there will be a shahadat, religious conversion. In most cases, 99.99% cases, the Islamic nikah is only between Muslim and Muslim around the world. If Hindu and Muslim married, Hindu has to take shahadat oath, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is only one God, no problem with that. Muhammadur Rasulullah, you are endorsing that Muhammad is the prophet, last prophet. Where what it means that it has also legal implications in your married life, in your raising, after divorce, child custody battles. So that's converting to Islam, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, maybe just a matter of 30 seconds. But it has a major life legal implications. That's something you should be mindful about. Catholic Church, as I said, that Catholic Church will want prenuptial agreement. Unfortunately, when you're dating a Catholic, that question never comes up. You just go and visit the church, they show you, yes, we'll have the wedding this way, that way. Priest will say some passing that we will be doing there, and you don't realize that you will be signing that document. It only comes a month or two before the actual wedding, when you feel you're already trapped up, and how can you get out of it? See, you have to learn to understand in between lines. Let me explain you. Let's say you are in love relations with Muslim or a Catholic or Christian. And Hindu party will says, I got to have a Hindu wedding. That's must for me, and that's my parents wants it. The Muslim says no problem. Let's say Catholic says no problem. We'll love it. We'll be part of it. So you get excited, and they says we'll have our own wedding. So that is fair. You say, yeah, sure. You have yours. I have mine. Fair deal. Equal 50-50. Great. As I said, that Muslim wedding means you have to convert. Hindu wedding does not mean the other party has to cover, at least that's not the way American legal system understood. Catholic wedding, you have to sign the prenuptial, which not part of the Hindu viva. So you did not understood the in-between lines. You thought it's equal. Second example. Let's say you both agreed that yes, we'll raise children in both faiths, Islam and Hinduism. Let's say Christianity and Hinduism. Again, you forgot, or Judaism, and you forgot that in between line. The Jewish party will say, well, we took your children once to mandir, put on the tilak and did arti, and that's it. See, I followed my things. Now I want the children's bar mitzvah, Jewish, or Catholic will say baptism. What that means, it's not just 1 hour ritual. From age 5, the bar mitzvah, the Jewish children will start learning the Hebrew. Every week, 2 to 3 classes. You have to go to synagogue till age 12. And I have attended bar mitzvah. My God, so impressive. The child will give a lecture in Hebrew, teaching about certain things from Torah. And so much work goes into that. Now think of it. One side, you did one ritual, Hindu ritual, let's say Nama Sanskara, 1 hour, when child is 6 months old. Child doesn't understand what's going on. Versus the same child will have to go through from age to 5 to 12, every 2 to 3 times a week in synagogue, church and all that. So much commitment. There is no time left for Hindu activity. And plus, Hindu teaching will be in conflict, directly conflict with what is being taught in synagogue, mosque, or church. So you thought that, yes, we'll do both. There is no possible to both. I'm saying in my book, 50-50, everything has to be 50-50. Church time 50%, then 50% time mandir time. In church, you go there, you have to pay money, financial, you must pay 3% to 12% of your gross family income to the church, to be a member of the church. And same in Judaism and Islam. Islam, some 2.5% of your total asset every day, every year, you have to give it to the Islamic causes. Point is, once you do that, are you going to give the same amount to Hindu causes too? So many ways, 50-50 is very difficult to maintain, but you need to ask and understand what you're getting into. So in this course, you will learn to understand between lines what you are agreeing to. We will definitely go through divorce laws across the world, including Indonesia, Malaysia, India, Israel, and the West. Why you need to learn laws? Well, you are getting into love relationships in America. I mean, there could be someday divorce. You have 2-3 children. You will be fighting for child custody, and your lawyer will be involved, and you'll be spending so much money. So, I mean, why you don't want to focus on law today? So, other thing, we will make the course very interesting by introducing Bollywood, Sharmila Tagore, Saif Ali Khan, Amrita Singh, Kareena Kapoor, Their two children, Taimur and Jahangir, really both Muslims' names. Kareena Kapoor has not changed, but both the children have Muslim names 100%. So is it a marriage of equality? I don't think so. Further, the recently Vice President of America, J.D. Vance, who he married to Usha Chelukuri. Usha today is still a very practicing Hindu, and J.D. Vance is a Catholic. But the good thing is, I've written an article on it. Both are, he respects Usha's faith, and Usha fully respects his faith. They have found some balance in their married life. So what I'm saying is, yes, balance is possible. You could be very productive, respecting each other, provided you have that mindset, provided you know what you are getting into it. We'll also discuss many practical and sensitive issues. As I mentioned, that what will be the formal religion, formal, what the child will be called. Will that child be called baptized, meaning Christian, or Hindu Jew, like that, or Hindu Muslim child? I mean, that sounds a little contrasting. How could you be East and West? You are mixing one, but it's your decision. Definitely, upfront concern is, will there be an expectation of religious conversion? If a Jew and Muslims are marrying, who will change the religion? What will be the name of, will they be asking you to change your name? For example, Sarmila Tagore's name is Aisha Begum Sultana. She has to change her name to have the Sahadat conversion and marry to Nawab Patori. So will you be asked to change your name? Circumcision in Judaism and Islam, the male child must be circumcised. It's so vital for them. And in a way, it's an irreversible procedure. Once you circumcise a child, you cannot undo it. And you are putting a religious stamp on the child that this child is this or that. Not as much in Christianity. As I mentioned, the church membership dues costs 3 to 12%. Are you ready to cover 3 to 12% of your gross income? See, all those discussions, when you start at dating time, hopefully early, I mean, you're not going to do it very bluntly, but you slowly and try to find it out. If the other chosen partner is a religious fanatic, he or she will run away, realizing that this is not the person to fool anymore, and your problem is solved. And if that party is really genuinely honest, pluralistic, out to really take good care of you for life, the way you are, rather than changing you to something you are not, then I don't see any problem marrying anybody. That's great human soul, no problem. So in this course, we will break it down into 11 weeks. Sounds like a lot, but it's going to be fun. First course will have different terminologies and introductions. Second course will have just different scriptures, because there is a lot to cover. And scriptures are very interesting. If you read it, I would suggest start reading from the Quran. It's very interesting. Short, small book. Then we will go through Hindu, Muslim, whole class, just on Hindu Muslim marriages. We'll cover a lot of Bollywood in that one, make it interesting. Next class will be Hindu Christian marriages, because 70% of marriages I have seen, Hindu Christians, they are doing great. So I mean, and most of the people I deal with, they are marrying to Christians. So I mean, that's also a very important point. Jewish population is small, but still there are many Hindu Jews, because when you go to Ivy League schools, I mean, there are so many Hindu kids, the bright Hindu kids there, so many Jewish there, and they don't have any formal animosities, historical issues, and they fall in love with each other. But when you marry, it could be a different issue, different situation. In week 6, we will look at the national laws, because that is important. Week 7, we will switch gear. and just look married life, how to be happy in married life. Doesn't matter whether you're interfaith, not married. See, I'm married for 46 years and still I'm refining my married life because marriage itself is a problem. There are so many nuances. You keep on fighting with each other for irrational reasons, illogical. And I will help you how to refine your married life and whatever married life you have, make it really happier one. Next week it will be parenting because there is so much in either interfaith child or within faith. There is so much you need to learn about how to raise your children. Uh, Next week week 9 we will have the I want you to be interfaith marriage consultant. You go out and talk to other people. Why you want to be consultant and guiding others? Because the best way to learn is to teach. And when you start teaching others, you'll be really, really perfecting your own thought process. Week 10 will be a lot of personal experiences will be sharing, you will be sharing, and the last class will be overview. So to conclude, this course will provide very objective, very practical approach to navigate through these complex and critical issues in interfaith marriages. We'll have a lot to discuss and it will be very informative and I promise it will be a fun experience. Anyway, if you want to learn more about interfaith marriages, just go to Google, put my name, Dilip, Amin, just do it today and you will have so much first page probably full of all kind of my videos and write up and all that. And that could be a good start to learn more about it. So with that, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And hopefully this will be a very useful information for your life. So do consider attending the course. There is a lot to learn. And in case if you are too busy, cannot join, I still appreciate you paying attention to it. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you for that, Dilip Ji. You touched on a lot of topics. I'm sure people have questions. We will get into your questions. Please put them in the Q&A box. Prefer it in the Q&A box than the chat. Yes, we've got Rajie on. He's one of the folks that Dr. Dilip Amin has helped. He's gone through his own journey. We'll hear from him shortly. Hemant Ji from Atlanta, thank you for joining. Mitsu from Vegas. Love you, babe. Thank you for being on. Atulji from Michigan. Glad you are here. Kiranji from Richmond, California. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I got a little poll up. Just how did you hear about this webinar? Let us know. Okay. So with that, Rajie, why don't
let me introduce Raj.
You introduce Rajie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Raj is Raj will tell you that I wish I met Raj before he got in love relation with that Jewish lady. He is a typical Hindu kid, I would say, child. I mean, he's no more, he's adult. But point is, he is a well-wisher. So he married a Jewish lady. He had all good intentions and he really fully embraced all their practices, try to be part of their, I mean, just like a good Hindu kid, any parents will tell them to do. And that's everything good he did it. Unfortunately, he gave a wrong message to the Jewish partner that he's becoming close to being a Jewish or children will be Jewish. And ultimately, he paid the price for it. So I will let Raj tell his story, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Raj, tell the viewers why they should learn more about interfaith marriages.
Yeah. Thank you, Dilip Ji, and thank you for all your help. And namaste, everyone. I'm honored to be here speaking at this seminar. So yeah, it's a very personal story. I normally wouldn't share it, but because it's important for our community, that's why I'm here to talk and share my personal story, which may have lessons for others as well. So as Dilip Ji mentioned, I'm a Hindu American, very much Americanized. I was actually born here, raised here in LA. I went to Vedanta Temple every week with my family. This was held by the Ramakrishna Vivekananda mission. So I very much grew up in that tradition, very pluralistic, embracing of all religions. I always had friends of different religions, and I saw nothing wrong with celebrating their holidays. My own family, we celebrated Christmas every year, and I still do. That's just a holiday I enjoy. But I've always identified as Hindu. Um, and shortly after college, I'm now 52, so that was 30 years ago at this point almost, I learned an ancient Vedic meditation technique. It's best known, it's been branded as Transcendental Meditation, or TM for short. But it's really just a Vedic technique. I learned it shortly after college, and I've been practicing that every day, my entire adult life, generally twice a day. And for me, it's the main way I practice my religion. I sort of think of it as my daily puja for me. And so, that's kind of that's a little bit about my background. Anyhow, at some point later in life, I ended up in a relationship with a Jewish American woman. I was very clear from the beginning that if we were to have kids, I would have absolutely no issues with their Jewish heritage. Always had a lot of Jewish friends and love the culture. I think it's similar to ours in some ways. But I was also very clear that I had my own religion, I valued it, and I'd want any future kids to be raised in both our religions, which she agreed to. So we were very clear on that, actually. When we ended up getting married and we had kids, we honored that. We gave them both Hindu and biblical names. So our eldest son is named Isaac as his first name. His middle name is Sham, as in Lord Krishna. And when we had our youngest son, we did Ulta. We reversed the order. So his first name is Arav, another name for Lord Shiva, and his middle name is Levi. And this was supposed to signify the equality of both our religions. We also read books about both religions to the kids. Anyhow, this is where it gets more personal. For unrelated reasons, we ended up separating when the kids were just 4 and 2. And shortly after, my ex-wife, by her own admission, became more Jewish, and we started having some conflicts over the religious upbringing of our kids, with her wanting them to do more and more Jewish activities even on my days. And I had 50% custody and felt like I had lost half my time with my kids. And I had my own religious practices. So, we ended up having to go our separate ways on religious upbringing. So she raised him Jewish on her time, I raised him Hindu on my time, which for me was fine. That's the situation. Not ideal, but it is what it is. A little later, my ex tried scheduling an additional day of Jewish schooling every week, but on a weekday that happened to be my day. And I didn't like this for a few reasons. First, my kids were now doing the same meditation technique. I took them to the Transcendental Meditation Center. They learned it. They were doing it every day while with me. Um, and but they weren't able to do it on my ex's time, for whatever reason. And so I felt that, hey, my religious activity isn't being supported on her time. Why should her activity be done on my time? Let's just continue carrying on. I understand, we're not on the same page, but you do yours on your time, I do mine on my time. So that was one big reason. The other reason is that, frankly, this activity, which was going to occur into the evening, a particular weekday every week for 7 years, it was conflicting with our meditation time. We do it twice a day when we're together, and I already had limited time, only half time with my kids. So I felt there was a conflict. Her activity was now also getting in the way of mine. And then the third thing is, of course, I didn't like giving up all that time. It was 2.5 hours every week for 7 years, and we had an agreement, 50-50 parenting time. So unfortunately, we weren't able to resolve this on our own. We ended up going to court and making all our arguments. I made all these arguments. I described my background, the importance of meditation to me, as well as to Hindus, how it's, one of the practices Hindus engage in, but definitely of religious significance. Um, my ex's argument was basically uh, that the kids were Jewish, period. Uh, she she made that argument quite strongly, included, and this is what Dilip was getting at, included pictures of me wearing a yarmulke at a Jewish celebration, which I'd been happy to do as a sign of respect, given how I was raised. Um, Made it out that I was, had embraced Judaism and was becoming practically Jewish, which I did embrace her practices. I saw nothing wrong with doing that, but that was not my understanding. So these are some of the arguments that were made. They said in oral arguments, they didn't address the meditation practice or the conflict or any of that, but in oral arguments, they said, her lawyer said, Your Honor, meditation isn't religious. It's just for relaxation. You've probably meditated. I've meditated. So they tried to change the significance of that. Anyhow, we made our arguments. The judge, seems to be of Judeo-Christian background, a white female judge, basically ruled against me on the fundamental issue of um, this activity being forced to be done on my time. I had basically said, hey, no issues with activity. Here are some alternatives that my Jewish friends have offered. She can get a private tutor. I found another synagogue that offered the same course on her time. But let her do it on her time so that we don't have this conflict. So the judge ruled against me on that and spoke at length about the importance of this Hebrew school and said it should be done on my time. She mentioned nothing about my meditation practice at all. Didn't even touch upon it. It's almost like she hadn't read that part. I don't know. Or maybe didn't think it was religious. But the most egregious part of the ruling I felt was that she then declared me to be in bad faith for having come to court. And basically, for no real reason other than saying that I think you were just trying to get in the way of your ex's Hebrew school for the kids, uh, which I was aghast at. I had offered alternatives that she could do on her time. I had quoted my Jewish friends who said, "Yeah, she should just do it on her time, and yeah, you can get a private tutor to teach them this if you want." Um, so that was really offensive to me. She also penalized me financially. I had to pay my ex-wife's counsel fees. So that actually happened to me, and I was shocked. I mean, we all encounter some discrimination by some oddball person that you encounter in life, but I'd never been discriminated against by the government, and that's what this felt like. And they just have such enormous power. It was really, I don't know. I just felt humiliated. Not because I did anything wrong. I did everything right, but it was just humiliating to be like, you know, in this position, there's this judge who's in a position of power telling you you're in bad faith, I'm going to punish you. And so that was it didn't sit well with me. And I thought about it, thought about the pros and cons, appeal. I thought about appealing the whole thing. It's difficult to win appeals. Uh, I ended up appealing and appealing just the bad faith finding because it's so difficult to win appeals, at least in New Jersey. Um, my lawyers felt that I really didn't have much of a chance if I appealed the whole thing, but if I appealed just the bad faith finding, which they agreed was egregious and there was no basis for it, they felt I had a better chance. So I appealed it to save money this time because I'd already spent a lot. I represented myself, just getting advice from my lawyers. Went up there and argued in front of a panel of a couple appellate judges who were excellent and ended up winning. So I was very happy about that. The bad faith turning got overturned. The money had to be returned to me. It wasn't for the money, but that was nice to have that victory. Um, and yeah, it was a victory, but not a full victory. At the end of the day, my meditation practice still isn't being supported on uh, my kid's mother's time, and they have to go to Hebrew school on my time. I do get makeup time, which is good. The original judge actually granted that to me, which made the bad faith finding even more confounding. Like she actually gave me something and then declared me in bad faith. But anyhow, so it's a partial victory, a partial loss still, because in my view, the legal system took kids who are supposed to be raised in both religions equally and favored one over the other, and that's not right, whether you're Hindu or Jewish or anything. Um, so I've taken the victory and I've moved on, but I've also felt that, hey, there's still more work to be done here. Like this shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't happen to anyone else. Uh, and that's why I've shared this story publicly to just raise awareness about this discrimination that's still underway here. And it may not be personal discrimination. I really don't know what the original judge was thinking. It may not be that she has a personal animus towards me or us or for whatever reason. It may just be ignorance, ignorance about Hinduism, looking at someone wearing a yarmulke, thinking, how Hindu can they be, because she doesn't understand that our religion is pluralistic. Maybe thinking that Yeah, meditation. Yeah, that doesn't sound religious. Everyone does it. Not understanding, the significance for us. So it could have just been ignorance, but guess what? 99% of the judges in this country are of Judeo-Christian background, and many of them are going to be like that. Are going to be ignorant about our practices. So I've decided to do my part in my own small way to raise awareness. It hopefully is educational for judges like that, but also for our community as to risks you need to watch out for and perhaps measures you can take to educate people. So that's my story. Wanted to share it. It's a cautionary tale as well, at a personal level for Hindu Americans who may be entering into an interfaith relationship with potential for marriage. Just be careful. Um, if I could do it over again, I wish I had met Dilip before. I would have been much clearer about what it meant to raise our kids interfaith. I would have had it much more clearly in writing. I actually did have some in writing. It just emails between us, where she acknowledged that I always had the right to raise him Hindu. I had negotiated that in addition to Jewish. But maybe, I don't know, maybe the equivalent of a prenup or just some sort of agreement that, hey, we're going to do this and it doesn't matter what. I would have
I think it's
done things differently.
yeah,
So
it's
I
a
think
great
Dilip is doing an amazing job about this. Yeah.
it's a
Sorry,
great
Dilip, go ahead.
summary. Thank you for coming out and being bold. Remember, Raj has money and he has energy to go after the call. Majority of the people will give up, just submit to it, and will lose out. So that's the difference. Actually, what I'm saying is, if Raj came to me beforehand, I would have guided him, steered him so before, I mean, before dating. Actually, his wife or the ex may not be a bad person, but there was a different expectations. So what if he had made it clear that look, 50-50 children will not have bar mitzvah. That's my position. No BBS, no bar mitzvah, baptism, because it's interfaith marriage. Problem would have been solved. We would not have liked it while dating, but she realized that she cannot have it her way. And maybe today they will be very happy married couple. So point is, you have to clarify the expectations clearly, honestly, and with intellectually. That's my message. And this course will help you. Thank you.
Yeah, and Dilip, that's a great point. Dilip is right. I did not do that. In fact, I did the opposite. I said, "Yeah, sure, happy to celebrate your religion, but you should celebrate mine." And she agreed. But then the kids did go through a Jewish ritual called a bris. It's a circumcision ritual. I thought we were doing it interfaith, like we hired a mole, the guy who actually does it, who had done other interfaith families. But that was used in court. That hey, they had a bris. That's the formal entry into Judaism, and
So the message is,
so
to be good is bad. Because
yes,
just by being good to others, you are giving a wrong message. Instead of that upfront, you're not being bad, but you are being very explicitly clear that you're not going to have a priest, you're not going to have bar mitzvah. Problem would have been solved. I don't think she was religious fanatic, as you said beforehand anyway. And then she would have understand that, okay, there is less focus on other things. So that's my message. Ankur, yes, please take it over.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Rajie, that it was a little tough to even hear, even though I've heard it before from you and I know you've gone through it, but hearing it was a little painful, right? To hear that the discrimination, bad faith finding by a court, and all of what you went through. But thank you for sharing. I think it was helpful in going through it. I think it really connected with a lot of people. You're getting a lot of react emojis, right? A lot of people sending you love over this. Really appreciate it. And I know you started Kahani Time, right? That's something that we talked about before, about getting Hindu books to families at an early age so that we create pathways for Hindu families, interfaith families to share information, to have books that are from our perspective. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that up again and share that. We have quite a few questions. We got some people with their hands up. Let me just take this comment from Smita Ji. She's got her daughter who's 19. She loved reading your book, Dilip Ji, about interfaith marriage. They share the ideas. They love the email letters in particular. Thank you, Smita ji, for joining. Mohinder ji has a specific question on, is it possible to disaggregate that 38% of interfaith marriages by gender, by religion? I don't know if we need to get into all of that, but maybe.
Yes, I can be quick.
Okay.
It 38% was same for male and female, same percentage. And naturally, we are in America, majority are Christians, so majority of them were to the majority of them were Christians. Jews are definitely small percentage, and Muslims were, at least in my survey, 5%.
Okay, great. Pudu Pukamji has raised their hand. I'm going to allow you to unmute and ask your question. If you can find that unmute button and ask your question, you can go ahead. Anne, thank you for your comment. I'm not good. First, she says, personally, I'm a cultural, in quote, mutt, but this discussion has been so helpful. Glad that this discussion was helpful, Anne. The course will also be helpful and clearly interesting and engaging. Let me launch the poll on the course itself. Let us know if you're interested in enrolling in the course. Maybe you're interested in enrolling in a program at HUA. So Vijayji has a longer question. I'm going to kind of summarize kind of the context. And he's starting with Abrahamic religions are proselytizing, right? They aim to convert, while many Hindus and Hinduism has, especially currently in modern times, is not. Even though, you know, if you go back centuries or millennia, right, the Dharmic traders went to Southeast Asia and Buddhism spread all the way across, and that's like a, you know, Gautam Siddhartha was Hindu. It was a part of a nascent Hindu kind of framework and kingdom. So that was a little bit spreading. But his question is, if we are not converting people to Hinduism or bringing people into the fold, you have to be born Hindu. Doesn't the other religion become the default choice? That's what he's saying. And the next part of his question is, let's say I'm with a person who's open and wants to become Hindu. Practically speaking, how do I bring my wife, my girlfriend onto the Dharmic path? This is the way. Join this course. We have many different courses at Hindu University of America. We're going to be launching an introduction to Hinduism type of course where people can understand the high-level concepts at a basic level. But Hindu University of America, we have a range of courses depending on what you're interested in. Even Dhyanam, right? Meditation and the Meditator. We have a specific course on that. Like Rajie was saying, even though it's, in his case, it was not recognized as a Hindu practice, but it clearly is, just like yoga, right? Yoga has been systematically attempted to disconnect from its Hindu roots. We're not letting that happen. We are going to continue to connect all of this Sanatana Dharma to its culture, to its roots, and you're a part of it. All of you here, Dilip ji is a faculty member sharing it. Rajie is courageously sharing his experience and bringing it in, bringing you in. So all of that is to say, Vijay ji, this is the course for you.
So quick answer to that is yes, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, at least Christianity and Islam, they are proselytizing. And all three religions don't believe as a mass that children can be raised in two faiths. Versus all four Dharmic faiths, there is, at least today, there is no concept of religious conversion for marriage. I never heard that Christians, Jains or these Buddhists or Sikhs or Hindus, they ask that, okay, you want to marry me, you have to convert. That's not a common practice. But given that, you need to make sure, you need to understand that in interfaith marriage, you're not marrying to the whole religion or community. You are marrying to only one party. And that person you are marrying to may be very open-minded, very pluralistic, open-minded. So you cannot be generalized and stereotype people. And that's why it's very critical to understand who that person is, what mindset is that one. And if you follow that way, you will have much better outcome in your married life. That's what I'm saying.
Jayashriji is asking Rajie, how do your children deal with it all? And how are they doing? How has their journey been? If you can just talk from their perspective a little bit, I think our audience is pretty, I'm interested. I think the audience is as well.
You know, I've just done the best I can. It's all you can do to impart our traditions and practices to them, and they're doing great. I think in retrospect, everything that happened in terms of the separation ended up being for the best. Um, look, they continue being raised Jewish on their mom's time and Hindu on mine. I get makeup time at least, and I really try to just be extra diligent about making sure that they meditate twice a day while with me. We do, formal puja every now and then. I try to do it every other weekend when I have them. I had him in a Hindu program for a while, a Sunday school equivalent, Bal Vihar. It's just very far from where I live and conflicting with sports activities. So trying to figure that out, looking at an ISKCON place nearby. And the best thing I did was uh, because I grew up enjoying these comics or books, the Amar Chitra Katha collection. The best thing I did was buy the ultimate collection, 600 or 700 of these issues, and that was, gosh, maybe 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago at this point. And to this day, they still read them, they love them, and in fact, I live in an area now which has a lot of Indians, and I've had some of their kids over. My kids know the epics better than their kids do, and in their situation, the kids, both their parents are Hindu. So I think our community tends to take things for granted a little bit, which is the point of this nonprofit I'm trying to get off the ground, Kahani Time. But I've represented, they love the stories. We're listening to this podcast about the Mahabharata, stories of Mahabharata by Shidip Dharmic. We've made it all the way to the Battle of Kurukshetra, so they love it. So in fact, we have great stories. We have that as an advantage, frankly. So that's what we do: meditation, stories, uh, puja every now and then. Gone to temples occasionally. There aren't any right around here. And I have a partner who's we have a blended family. She and her daughter and my kids, and she's from India originally, born and raised. So we sort of got our family unit back, and this time it's both of us were raised Hindu, and there's no conflict there. So doing things a little bit better this time.
I can
Hope
add
that
to
helps.
Raj. I have seen in America that, and also in India, majority of the Hindu parents thinks that they don't need their children to involve in that daily rituals like puja, arti, and taking it into mandir, because that's some outdated, fanatic kind of things. But it has its own value. If you did not install those kind of rituals as a part of life, when they marry interfaith, they have nothing to offer. So, no, as much as you did not thought about it, if you have young kids, involve them for now daily rituals. And those rituals are, as much as you may not see value, it helps them give some bonding. Thank you.
Yeah,
Ankur,
I'm putting in the chat details about the course. You can click this link. It's going to be on Mondays, starting on October 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Here it is in the chat. Please click through and register right there. We are almost at the top of the hour. There's so much interest and engagement. I'm so glad that we were able to do this. Maybe there's Smitaji, you need to take the course. Your series of questions is exactly what Dilip is going to get into in the course. Maybe one thing that an anonymous attendee has asked, but I think it's kind of interesting. How can you talk a little bit about conflicts with the parents on both sides? How does that kind of come up, or what's your experience with that? And just briefly on that as we move towards the end of our webinar.
parents will be a major problem in any interfaith marriage. And what I say that if two parents cannot stand in one room for 1 hour, that's going to make a major mess in your married life. And that's why I keep on saying all the time that two people are dating, you decided that, yeah, this is the way we will conduct our married life. This is the way we'll have a children's name, or they will have or not have bar mitzvah, baptism. You write it down and show it to both sides of parents, and both will boil it over, both will make a mess out of that situation, that how could you do this and that. They will try to brainwash in their own time. Bottom line is, if ultimately two couples could stand against both the sets of parents and remain firm, then only you should get married. And if one of the couple start listening more to their parents and start pressuring the other couple that no, please do these things because my parents will get upset, you know that major trouble is coming on the way. Delay the marriage by delay the planned marriage by 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever. So yes, parents will be making a mess out of interfaith and the community will and the priests and imams and all that. They are the problems. I generally notice the people in love, they have the good intentions. They really want to make it work. They really care for each other. So if you listen to others who you should not be, then interfaith marriage is not for you. And if you can withstand them, if you learn how to keep off, we will decide it. Then only get in interfaith love relationship or interfaith marriage.
Okay. Actually, we got, I think, Karthik Ji, can you unmute and just talk? I think Karthik Shamsundar Ji has joined. He's also somebody who's taken your course last time. Karthik Ji, do you
Please
want to make a quick...
ask him to share his life, his experience. At
So
the
this is Karthik. Sorry, I'm not able to come on the video camera. I'm in a place where I cannot. But I do want to say that I took the class, Dilip Ji's class. It's an awesome class. I also had Rajie come to the class and discuss many of the concepts. They both are really good. And Dilip Ji, he has done, when I took the class, I was skeptical. I was like, is this a positive thing or a negative thing? What is this? I couldn't understand this. Is he promoting this or is he not promoting this? No, he has a very neutral perspective. In fact, I have to tell you that you become a better Hindu by taking this particular class. Even, that there's also that angle to this particular class. But you also learn about other religions. You understand how conversions can take place in very subtle ways. And it's really for the betterment of the entire humanity. He's very open about everything. I think it's a fabulous class. It's probably one of my top 5 classes. I would say top 2 classes. It's really at the cusp of modern living and what are the kind of things that we need to do, and more practical for Hindus living outside the United States, outside India. Yes. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Karthik Ji. Karthik Ji is a certificate program in Hindu studies student. He's taken many courses, so that is high praise. Thank you, Karthik Ji, for being with us
Karthik
today.
was one of the most attentive and he had always so many good questions to ask. So I'm glad. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we are nearing the end of our webinar. Thank you, everyone. Sorry we couldn't get to everyone's questions. Mohinder Ji, I'm going to connect you to Rajie later. Dadi ki kahani and Nani ki kahani. Nice little connection there. I'll connect you offline. Please reach out to me if you have any other questions by email. It is always my pleasure to host. What a great webinar. Rajie, really, thank you for sharing. Dilip Ji, thank you for doing the work. Everyone, thank you for attending and asking questions. And hopefully you can enroll in this course. Join HUA in whatever capacity you can. We are growing, building together. And again, it's just an honor to be here with all of you. With that, let me hand it to Rajie. Do you want to say any closing thoughts? And then Dilip Ji can close our webinar.
Yeah, no, just thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you all joined. There is just so much new things now we have to learn about interfaith marriages. If you attend this class, there is so many new things you will learn, even just of academic interest. I would highly recommend you all to put in Google Dilip, Amin, and read all my write-up. You will really find it very valuable, informative. And anytime if you find into any interfaith relationship, reach out to me. I always give free advice to anyone. You can find my contacts information in the website, dilipamin@yahoo.com. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Namaste. Dhanyawad, everyone. Goodbye.